Good, beautiful morning, everybody. I'm still battling the old sickness, but steroids and Mucinex has done wonders. It's breaking up finally, and that's awesome. So I know people say rest when you're sick. However, there's deadlines that got to be met, and so I'm heading out to Bay City to work on a Pistro's build. Their move-in date is Monday, and I have quite a bit of work left out there to do, so I'm heading out there to get chucking away on that. As you can see, this is not a live video. They banned my video, or they banned me to make content again because I brought awareness about something they allow in the city that I live in, Saginaw. I brought awareness to the people. They banned me within like 5 minutes. I'm not going to get off into what it's about, but it is about use. I'm not going to dive off deep into it because they'll probably ban that video too, and it's evident that Facebook is no longer a platform to bring real awareness to the people. It is no longer that. And it is not owned by Mark Zuckerberg. He's just the face of it. It's definitely being controlled by the system. I think we've all known that for a while now, but on the contrary, it's going to be a great day. And I know it sounds like I'm really, my throat, my voice is gone. It's all messed up. Yesterday, the day before yesterday was probably the worst I felt. I could not breathe. I couldn't get air. It was, I don't know if you've ever felt that, where you cannot get enough air into your lungs or any out. It's kind of scary, right? So I was that congested, but with the combination of these and Mucinex, it's finally breaking up and it's coming out. So it was scary because nothing was coming out, and it was god-awful painful. And I got other friends that are going through the same thing right now, and I recommended them what I used. Now, we've also had friends say, oh, they won't recommend anything. They say just it's viral and just go home and deal with it, and they were sick for 3 weeks. Well, I don't know why they're not giving that stuff out to people so that it can get rid of it faster. Outside of, makes a lot of money when you got to buy Mucinex every other day. It's a big money maker. Now that's an assumption, but it is what it is. But I'm super pumped about the day. The other day I was talking about opportunities, and despite what some of you may believe, I understand I am a controversial individual. The reason I'm controversial is because I feel like I've lived long enough where I don't believe much of what is shared with us, the people, and I stand for the people. That's probably why I'm controversial, because I don't go with the narrative. The second they release something, I don't go and be like, oh yeah, that's got to be true. I've seen too many lies over my years to believe what my first thought is or reaction is from a media outlet or whatever. But contrary to the belief, you may believe that's what I love is controversy or anything like that. It is not. I love talking about winning. I absolutely love to see the people of this country win. I love seeing people win. And it excites me more to share about winning and encouraging other people to win regardless of their doubts, regardless of their disbelief within themselves. Because let's face it, that's what holds people back. It's not got anything to do with there's not opportunities. It's not got anything to do with I don't have what it takes. what it really boils down to for most people is the lack of belief within themselves. And they tell their ideas to the wrong people. That is what holds people back in life. And I am not pointing fingers, because that is what held me back in life. I went and told everybody that didn't have a dream that I have a dream. What do you think they were like? Yeah, go after it, Justin. No. You can't tell your dreams to people that don't have dreams or aren't chasing their dreams. It doesn't work. It's like going to find a Walmart associate saying, hey, what do I do about this lack of blood circulation I have going throughout my body? You're not going to go tell a Walmart associate that. You're going to go tell a doctor that. Right? Right. So it's lack of belief followed by telling the wrong people, which will only increase your lack of belief within yourself. The other thing is this. A lot of people try, but they don't try long enough. Are you willing to do it long enough to where the excitement about doing it is no longer there? A lot of us underestimate what we can do, or overestimate what we can do in a year, and underestimate what we can achieve in a decade. A lot of us, most of us, right? I believe I can go into a house and clean it in 4 hours. It's not possible. Don't happen. And about 12 hours later, that deep clean might be done, right? So because of lack of belief, and once, at least what happened with me a lot of my life, I would get into something, and then I would get bored with it. And once I got bored with it, I would stop doing it. If you have dreams, aspirations, visions, or whatever, eventually it's not going to be as exciting as it once used to be. What I mean is, you still have to do the mundane tasks day in and day out, even when it's not exciting. And people start losing interest and they walk away. For example, you will hear 9 out of 10 small businesses fail. No, the business didn't fail. The owner-operator failed the business. Because there's not an idea you can't have out here that won't work. Just take a look around. Just take a look around. But these big companies, like for an example, let's use Nike for an example. And right now that might be a bad example because of what's being released and all this stuff. But let's just use it. Nike. Do you think the owner still gets excited about a new style of shoe that comes out? They've had millions and millions and millions and maybe billions of different styles of shoes come out over the past 50 years, or however long Nike's been in business. The owner is not excited about the next style that comes out. But it's necessary to remain prevalent to the marketplace. It has to be done. Do you believe the owner of Nike still gets excited about a marketing pitch? Now, I don't know the owner of Nike, but I would imagine after advertising for, let's just say, 50 years, they're not excited anymore. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this, and this might surprise a lot of you. Do you think the owner of Nike still gets excited about money? You may say, well, absolutely, that's what drives them. I can almost guarantee it is not the money that's driving the owner of Nike anymore. It is a bigger purpose. It is probably a legacy they're going after, which they have built. But it's probably more so about the opportunities they're providing other people in the community than it is the dollar amount. once you get past a certain dollar amount and you don't have to worry about this or that or this or that, it isn't about the money anymore. It's got to be a bigger purpose. Please know, this is not me giving business advice neither. This is just me talking. There has to be a bigger purpose after a certain dollar amount than the dollar amount anymore. Money might have motivated them to get started, but after a while, it's not about the money. And a lot of us out here think the billionaires and all, or the millionaires, and maybe some of them are greedy, right? But most of them, they didn't build an establishment that big just for themselves. They did it for a bigger purpose. For example, our team is very small. Okay, so I'm not using our team. I'm using our team as only because I've been here since day one. We currently, as small as we are, our team, if it was about the money, still for me, Patty, Alicia, and Nikki, and the other side help, right? Well, let's just put it like this. If it was still about the money, it would still be only me and Patty. Why do I say that? Because when it was only me and Patty, we made way more money. That's just the honest truth. We made a lot more money when it was just me and Patty. You had a lot less overhead, right? You had a lot less taxes. You had a lot less this. You had a lot less that. So, for a company the size of Nike, he could fold up doors right now and never work another day in his life, and neither would his children, grandchildren. It's all generational, right? So it's not about the money. And that's what I'm saying, where people think that it's about greed and making more money. You only think that. You may only think that because you've never experienced that amount of money. It's not about the money no more for Nike. No. Now, I'm not saying a business doesn't have to make money to succeed. It does. But it comes a process. It's not about the money anymore. It's about expanding the business to add more value to whatever community you're in and more value into other people's lives by creating opportunities. And unfortunately, our system taxes the mess out of small businesses, so much so that they make it very hard to hire more people and grow. They make it very difficult. Very different. For example, I can get enough work lined up to hire another 6 people. But because of the taxation, financially, that isn't possible for me. Right? So these are the things I more so would rather talk about, opposed to being the controversial one on the internet that is challenging the narrative. We need people in this country to challenge the narrative. You got to have it, because if not, they're just gonna, well, that's why we're in the situation we're in now. Not enough people have been challenging the narrative. So I know a lot of you guys think I feed off into that, but no, it does not make me happy or excited to be the controversial one. It's just something that I believe, apparently, I was called to challenge the narrative, as a lot of other people are. Maybe you might be one that doesn't like to challenge the narrative and you just like to stay out of the way. It's fine and dandy, right? I am the one that I've always been that way too. I've always been that way in school. This isn't something like new of who I am. I would challenge the teacher. Ask him. Just because I would want to hear more than one point of view. So, yes, I would much rather talk about dreams, visions, and opportunities because that's what excites me. That's what excites me in life. That's what excites me in people. I love to encourage, empower other people to reach their potential, to reach for their dreams and visions. I get excited about doing that. I believe that adds value into people's life, and I like that. And that's where I get my most excitement in life. Is helping other people. So being controversial and calling out the narratives and getting banned every other day on Facebook or whatever isn't what I like to do. But it is kind of funny that they tell you exactly what they don't want people to do by banning people like me. They don't want people to challenge the narrative. They do not. They want everybody to be good little puppets and just go with the narrative. And Facebook has proven that over those past 6 years. They have been highly censoring social media for at least 6 years. You cannot say what's on your mind anymore on social media. What does that sound like? That's not freedom of speech. Not at all. I understand if somebody's, bullying children, threatening people. I understand that stuff. But censoring because you challenge the narrative or you try to bring awareness to the people of the community, that's not freedom of speech. That's suppression. They're suppressing speech. And you can't argue that. That's not an argumental thing. That's not up for debate. That is not up for debate whatsoever. It is what is happening. Right in front of my eyes, right in front of your eyes. Most things I talk about are debatable. And I enjoy the debates I get with people. That is not debatable. It doesn't matter who you are. They will silence you. And they do. I have people messaging me all the time. People that are outstanding citizens. As I like to believe I am today. I didn't always used to be an outstanding citizen in our communities. But today, I live with integrity and honesty. And I do the best I can in our community to add value to it. To me, that's an outstanding citizen. So I have outstanding citizens reaching out to me saying, Justin, they banned me for 3 days. For 30 days. What did I do? I can't even comment on anybody's, what did I do? I said, they're silencing you. They're silencing you because they know you're one of the ones that will stand up for the people, as I am. I will fight for the people of this country. I will die for the people of this country. For the kids. For the religious ones. For all of you, the people. The people. Now the club, I won't bat an eye. I won't fight for them. I'm not doing it. Too corrupt. We are at a time in this country where unity isn't an option if we want accountability for the crazy things that have been done to our children. Right before our very eyes, they deceived the mess out of all of us. Every one of us. Big Hollywood, all of them. All of them. It's sad. It's not sad. It's disgusting. And the fact that there is nobody in this country, including myself, out here protesting about that, about accountability for these people, yet they're protesting against law enforcement. It's very sad. It's actually, it lets you know a lot. It opens your mind to a lot. Just my opinion. But it lets you know that things are heavily funded to actually happen. And it also lets me know that the American people just want to be left the hell alone to live their life and enjoy it with their family. But how can we enjoy life when we know what is going on is going on? You know this, I'm left, I'm right shit. That shit needs to end because you are representing what they created. And what they created, they are interfering with children. So you're claiming something from a system that is predatory to our children. It's time to put the left and the right crap and the differences to the side. You have to ask yourself this. Let's ask ourselves this. Why would they invest trillions? When I say trillions, I'm talking about trillions of me and your dollars. Trillions of tax dollars per year to keep us divided. That is no longer a conspiracy theory. That's proven facts. Why would they do that? Well, they tell you what they're afraid of. They tell you literally to me in your face what they're afraid of, and it is unity. Yet they have us fighting like cats and dogs out here from a system they created that is predatory towards children. Which, in my opinion, it's the whole entire system. Schools, everything. And I'm not saying your little teacher that works at the school. I'm not saying that. But the administrations of that, yeah, it's everywhere. They're all the Rothschilds. Look up the Rothschilds. They're all part of it. They're all control of it. The whole entire system structure we have been lied to about. And we're going to fight each other over one man or one woman. Man, if we don't pull our heads out of our ass, it's going to be too late. If we don't pull our heads out of our ass to get these people held accountable, then what the hell is wrong with us as a country? They're messing with children. And they have been for years. And you can't tell who is and who isn't. It's all, so you have to assume it's all of them. That's not facts, but you have to assume that. We have a duty and an obligation in our country to protect at least our freaking children. And they're victimizing them. And they're being predatory over them. And we're not out here protesting. We can all disagree on everything we want to disagree on in life, and that is fine and dandy. But I don't think there's too many people watching this, or in your community, or in my community, or in the entire country that can't unite on the protection of our frickin' children. If we can't unite for that, then we're sick. Something's wrong with us. Then we have a very severe mental health issue in this country. I love you all. Have a blessed day.